Perfect. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us, one who I am very humbled, who came to the People's Podcast to give us some information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Sister Teresa F. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Alaikum salam, sir.
Great. And Sister Teresa, I just want to say on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we are extremely grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast today.
Oh, I want to thank you, Brother Joshua. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. All right. I thank you first. I want to do this for your vision in creating this site in this area for people because you're capturing history. And I'm so thankful to Allah to be a part of that great history that you're capturing at this
Praise
time.
be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. The honor is mine. Now, Sister Teresa, now, before we went live, you really dropped a bomb on me with some information that you told me, because this whole time I thought me and you were in the same high school age group.
Loving you, baby.
I thought me and you went to school together. Yes, ma'am. So, but when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Allahu Akbar. I heard the teachings in about 1970. And it was in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I remember, actually, Joe Tex was speaking. He had just become a Muslim. He was speaking, and right after him, it was, I'm trying to think, not Leslie Ali, my God, give me his name. Well, I'll get his name. It'll come back to me. But it was Springfield, Massachusetts, and it was 013. And I remember after hearing him coming outside and crying, and I sat on the stoop and cried. And the captain, who was the captain of the sister, I don't even remember who she was at that time, but she came outside and she told me, she said, "Sister, you're ready." You know? So what I did was I went back in, I did what I was doing. At that time, believe it or not, I was a barmaid. And I went back in and I moved back to New York underneath Minister Farrakhan in number 7.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And before we get going with this amazing history, keep going. My sister Miriam sends the greeting, Sister Sonia sends the greeting, and Brother Jaron Shabbat sends the greeting as well.
Oh, praises be to Allah. Please return the greetings to the believers from me, brother.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, absolutely. Can you please clear who Joe Tex is for people who may not understand how important that was that he was becoming a Muslim?
Oh, he made skinny legs and all. I don't remember nothing else that he made, but I do remember that he made skinny legs.
So he was an entertainer, and that's the first person to represent the teacher. Yes, ma'am. And for those, the way I came across Joe Tex was because of the Jackson movie. Joe Jackson was making Michael Jackson how to have showmanship, and he used Joe Tex as an example as a great person to have showmanship. So that's how I learned who Joe Tex was, because of a movie. Okay, so my next question is: so you come back to New York, and you're under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and what was that like being in the mosque in New York?
Oh, brother, I loved it. I'm gonna tell you, I lived in Brooklyn, right?
Okay.
But I would come on the train and get off at 116th Street and Lenox Avenue every Saturday morning. When you get off at 116th Street and Lenox Avenue, I wish I had captured that picture. That would have been one for the record. Did you see everything one way and the other, and to the right, and everything to the left belonged to us? Then across the street was the steak and tape. You would hear the brothers outside drilling and practicing. You passed the barbershop. We had a restaurant. We had a seafood place. We had a meat and poultry store. We had everything. Then you go down and you go into the mosque itself, but you have to go all right, you go to your right, you go past all our businesses, a lot of our businesses, and you go into the door. When you go up the steps, you can hear the typewriters going. You can hear, doing karate.
Okay.
You can hear the machines sewing. You could hear all different types of stuff, and then you smell the bread and the pies baking. I mean, Saturdays, it was like, hurry up, just push myself out the bed on the floor to hurry up and get to class. It was an honor.
Yes, ma'am. And who was training the sisters back then? Like how were they? Like, who was in charge of that?
Wow. Oh my God. Say her name. It was Portia Pasha. It was quite a few of them. Portia Pasha. It was, I'll give it to me. She just passed away. We just lost her.
Sister Amina Rasul.
Amina Rasul. Thank you. You know, thank you, brother. Look at a brother got it.
No problem.
Amina Rasul, Portia Pa. It was all like we had some greats back then. We had some great sisters and brothers back then. I'm not so heavy on remembering everyone's names, but I definitely remember the faces. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Praise be to God. And are you still maybe Facebook friends, or do you ever bump into any of the people that you came up with from the 70s? Have you seen them recently or anytime?
You know, to be honest with you, because everybody that I know just about that I came up with from that far back is from New York. But then I went from New York to Washington, D.C. with Sister Mary Alice and Sister Yvette. I bumped into them, and I did a tape connection for Dr. Aline there. And I went from there. Your mother and father was there at the time. Actually, your mother was dynamite, okay? She used to teach our classes, right? And if they would push a brother in, and when they push him in, they'd see if the sisters to see if they could get him down. They could always get everybody down with your dad and Arif.
Yes, ma'am.
They couldn't handle them too.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Okay, I didn't know that either. Well, Sis Theresa, I had a question for you. So 1975 comes, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departs.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. How does that affect you and your family?
That was very serious, brother. When I was sitting in the audience, I can remember I was only about 2 years old and maybe 3 years old, okay? And it hit me really, really, really hard. It hit, in other words, it put me into shock. But then when I came outside, I was still in shock. And we came down on a bus. I remember that. And when we came down on the bus from New York, and I went back out to go to find my bus, the world was lit up. And when I say the world was lit up, it's because the whole sun was sitting on the earth. If you look straight down the street, it looked like you could walk into the sun. That's where it was sitting at. That's all that's just stayed locked in my mind. And it's like Allah just rested it, letting you know that a servant of his is rested, right? But I thought he had passed, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't positive. I didn't know. My family, I mean, they were young. All of my children and everything were young at that time. They were real, real young. So, and they were in the Muslim schools. So how it really affected them, I can't say because I was too busy into me, to be honest with you. You know, and I was hurting pretty bad.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and my family and the viewing audience for your sacrifices, Teresa, and the sacrifice of your family. May Allah bless you all for holding strong and being the foundation that we are standing on today. That means a lot to us. Now, Sister Teresa, now what was it about the Most Honorable Farrakhan standing back up that made you want to join the Nation of Islam again?
Well, I had been not buckwild, but I had become other than myself. I'll put it that way.
Yes, ma'am.
When we lost the messenger and I thought he was gone, to be honest with you, I hit the bottle pretty hard, right? And when I hit the bottle, it wasn't me. And I was like fighting myself, but it was the only thing that gave me peace and would knock me out and put me to sleep. Until I got to the point where I was looking for funds, I would think it was, or a family member to give me something one day, and I was going to get something, and it was like, no, this is the end of this. You just can't keep doing this, you know? And I fell down where I was and I just started crying and praying and asking God to help me. And when I did that, it seemed like almost immediately, someone that I went in the next conversation that I had was talking about Minister Farrakhan. And they said, did you know that he is standing back up? And it's like, it was all in from there, because when he stood back up, I stood back up. And it gave me the strength to get it back together. And because I had moved out to Long Island so that I wouldn't be bothered with nobody, because I didn't want to go with the other crew. And I just was like lost, because I said they some of the things that was being done wasn't being done to the way that I remember the messenger teaching them. So I was out there for a while, but I thanked Almighty God Allah, because he felt fit. He saw fit to pull me back home. And when the minister stood up, and what he did, what was so beautiful, he was doing what you call those study groups all over the world, all over. He was doing all over New York, all over Brooklyn, all over the Bronx, all over everywhere. But nobody knew about nobody else until I believe it was 81. And then they had the big, they did the fundraiser, the big fundraiser where everybody raised $1,000 to get Mas Mariam back. And we got Mas Mariam back. I remember raising my money. That was the most money I had ever raised outside of something else, for something else in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
But it was so worth it, because that was the messenger's home, the messenger's house. And the minister said, we're going to get our home back. This is our home. And behind that, we start going after the land and different things like that. But I was a part of helping us to get our home back. And then they were putting the name. So my name is on one of those seats in there, if it's still there. It had a little lead thing where your name was written and engraved on.
Yes, ma'am.
So if it's still there, then my name is there, but I don't know if it's still there or not.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. And that's incredible. Okay, but Sister Teresa, I had a question. To see how you said you had to hit bottom, like you went down for a minute once the Most Hon Elijah Muhammad departed. What advice would you give to the new generation, the younger generation, of how to stay strong when the minister leaves?
What I would say, inshallah, is what I'm practicing and striving to do myself right now. And that is, you look back to go ahead. You go into those study guides, you delve into the study guides and into the study group on Friday night with Sister Ava and Brother Minister, because he's showing us, he's given us what we didn't have back then. Back then, nobody gave us warning. We didn't know that the messenger was going to leave us. You know what I'm saying? But we do know that the minister is going to leave. And we know that if we're not greedy, I don't want him to go. I'm greedy. I know I am. I'm wrong. And I just keep talking a lot about that. I think about him going and I go into depression and I have to pull myself back out of it. So I talk to Allah, and it's like saying, look, stop being selfish, stop being greedy. Know that when he goes, he's going to be healed. His body is wounded now. It will be healed. He will get another development of another understanding. He's going for a higher knowledge. And so who am I to act like I want to keep him here with me for what? I'm not doing enough right now. You know? Yeah. So if you hold on to the study guides, if you hold on to the supreme wisdom, if you hold on to the actual facts, the messenger's books, the minister's books, we got so many tapes, we got so many videos. Oh, speaking of tapes, I got almost 2,000, inshallah. If someone's out there who want to help me with that, that would be highly appreciated. Because when the tapes was turned from tapes to CDs and DVDs, I refuse to throw them away. I want to archive them for Brother Carlos, but I'm going to need help to get them turned into MP3s or directly downloads or whatever. But if there's a crew of people or anyone out there that want to work on that project, that's a project we could create a job for ourselves. But back to the messenger, those things will keep you alive. Those videos will keep you alive. The tapes will keep you alive. He made enough stuff on every single subject that if we pay attention and we study and we go back, but we have to be prepared too. This is why I do want to get those tapes and DVDs up and out, because I think they're going to try to shut all that stuff down when he's gone. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to want us to have contact with anything, because they said they're not only going to come after him, they'll be coming after us. So they're going to shut that down. So when they shut it down, we need our own. We need to have our own tapes. We need to have our own DVDs. We need to have our own, and make sure you have access to your books. Don't have more than one set of books if you have to bury your set. I'm
yes,
serious.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know,
Yes, ma'am.
it's just like food. If you have to bury food or whatever you have to do to survive, because my understanding, the minister said, if you make it through this time, you'll be in the hereafter.
Praise be to
So
Allah.
I just pray to Almighty God Allah that I'm worthy to make it again.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Great, great, great. And I want to make sure Sister Sonia says thank you, beloved, for your sacrifice. Our brother Zonda Zeke Charles from the Universal Soul Circus. He is one of the co-ringmasters. Says Assalamu alaikum, beloved. And brother Chef Brandon says please keep those tapes as well. Thank you very much. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, great. So now you're in Washington, D.C. So how do you go from, okay, so what was it like during Washington, D.C. time? What was it like during the Jesse Jackson run for president? What was that like?
Wow. You know what? I never was into that too much.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't remember. I know that the minister loved Jesse Jackson, and that's all that was enough for me. But and I know we voted for him, of course.
Yes, ma'am.
But I didn't go too much out on that limb. But what I did do was I was busy working, because Dr. Leem had me in the tape connection, running the tape connection for him, me and Sister Yvette and Sister Mary Alice. And that was in that big head. It was a big statue. It was right down the street from the college. Ooh, say that famous college on that big street. Oh my God. Howard University. Okay, it was right down the street from thank you. That's all I say.
We are right here.
It was right down the street from Howard University, and we had multiple floors. And I remember the people used to just come and sit by. We had an outside little bench that you could sit on, and we had the minister where he would play outside, and then he would play in the hall. And so you had about 4 different floors. You had the floor where I think they had some kind of food on the first floor. Then the second floor, they had different kind of stores. And no, we were on the second floor, okay? And then across from us was a food store. And they would sit out there and listen and hear the minister. And we made a lot of converts from just right there, from people sitting out there and hearing the minister. So most of my time was spent either there at the tape connection, or it was spent in the kitchen of our mosque on oh Lord, these places.
Kenilworth Avenue.
Kenilworth Avenue, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were remodeling upstairs in Kenilworth Avenue, and we turned it into a very beautiful restaurant. So that's where most of my time was spent. I didn't look up. Once I came back to work, it was work. You know, I was you worked. You really worked back then. You didn't have time to bother with people, argue, fuss, fight, or do anything, because you worked so hard, you'd be so tired when you finish. But the progress, and when you see the development, it was so great and so beautiful until, I mean, you can't touch it. Yeah. They say, can't touch this, can't touch this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Shout out to MC Hammer, you can't touch this reference. Okay, now, Sister Teresa, I had a question for you. Speaking of recipes, you got people like me who are single out here, who might be tired of bugging my sisters for food or asking random, people to cook. I heard that you have a cookbook in the works. What's going on? What you got?
Yes. Oh, praises are due to Allah. I got a cookbook on the table right this minute as we speak. Yes, you know what? Let me see if I got that picture from there. My granddaughter and my daughter. Well, it's Cooking in the Name of the Lord. I'm gonna show you this one, but this is not gonna be the actual cover. But you see that right there?
Yes, ma'am.
But we changed the cover because this is not clear enough. Okay. And actually, I sent it to you. It's on your phone, but it's so small. All right. But it's Cooking in the Name of the Lord, Muslim style. And everything is in it. And it should be ready within the next 2 weeks, be the will of Allah. So I was going to put it up and say if people wanted to pre-order, they could have, but it wasn't meant evidently because I didn't get the copy of it. But what I did do is, Allah blessed me from coming here, is to do so many different things. He first blessed me down in there to learn that. Then I moved here. When I moved here, I became a disaster preparedness teacher with Brother Joseph and Sister Betty. And we went all over the place. We went to all the different libraries and the colleges and churches and the schools, and we gave disaster preparedness. And in 2011, the minister said, go back to the land. I said, well, what kind of agriculture teacher am I that don't know nothing about the land? That ain't cool. So my sister lived down in Connolly, Georgia, and it was very farm-like down there. There's farms all over the place, cows and chickens, everything. You know, I mean, the nearest store is like 17 miles away, like that. So they had on their land a little house, another little house. So I said, I want to take that little house and rent it, and I want to learn how to grow food. And so I moved down there on the land with my brother-in-law and my sister, and I started growing food. But they used to call me, they used to laugh at me. They used to call me, the computer farmer. Because I'd run in and look at the computer and run back out and do it. And run in and look at the computer and run back out and do it. But Allah, Joshua, blessed every single thing I touch to grow. And Joshua, they stopped laughing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They stopped laughing. Yes, they did.
Okay,
then when
great.
I came back.
Well, okay. Well, can you help us with some farming, right? So, like, you're from the city. You're saying like New York, and that's like the city life to go farming. I'm from the suburbs, shout out to Naperville, to go farming. I'm not. You know, I know everybody's going back to the land, so I'm trying to prepare myself. But what advice would you give to people who not really used to milking cows and chickens? Like what advice would you give to people about handling the farm life?
Well, all I can do is give you from my experience, inshallah. And that experience came with, after going to the land and learning it, I came back here because I couldn't get enough people to move down there. I wanted people to move down onto the land and come down there, but evidently that's not where Allah wanted us to be. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, I got to go back because I got to get back into the mosque. I was staying active, but I was doing like we're doing now. Everything was virtual. And so that wasn't enough. And then the closest place down there was, it was too far, I put it that way. But anyway, coming back here, when I came back here, I said, well, you know, Allah, I would love to teach people what I learned. But I wasn't enough confident. I still wasn't confident enough in myself. So I came back here and I started to go to our mosque here. But something said, go help Brother Stanley and Sister Ruth and them. And there was a bunch of other believers over there in 15B. He said, go over there and help them. I love to work in places that's starting up. I love to help things start up. So I went over there to work with them. And when I went over there to work with them, I was talking to the brother about it. And he said, you know, well, take a course if you're not secure in it, in what you're doing. But then he said, I tell you what, they sent me to the farm, to Minister Farrakhan's farm. Yes, they did. And I met Bessie Jean and her worm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She got a worm that we found out that the worm is 98, it does 98% of purifying the soil. Okay. And so the minister was saying that the worm is like us, that nobody pays attention to it, but it's the one that's cleaning up the earth. So he said, it's like how the worm it's cleaning the earth up now. How Black folks are doing now. We're going to begin to clean up our own earth. All right. And she wears this big worm on her. He got a little hat on and whatnot. And he's just as cute. But the minister told us to go back to our communities. He said, and take the food deserts and turn them into oases. He said, beautify them and teach the elders how to farm. He said, and teach the younger people how to farm and take care. He said, take the empty lots and turn them into places that grow food. So I've been striving to do that since I've been back, or wherever somebody want a class at. But before I did that, when I came back, as soon as I came back from the minister, I took brother, he's the brother to brother, okay, our farm is brother, I don't know, I'm excited. I mean, I get excited, I lose it. But I'll say our brother's name on the farm down here.
Dr. Ridgely.
Dr. Ridgely, okay. He was the twin to Dr. Ridgely in the first resurrection. His name, okay, hold on 1 second. He's on my book. Okay, yeah, I do need his name. Okay, I'll think of it in a minute. Okay, yes, well, he was with Dr. Ridgely, and he had an ongoing class going here. And so I took his class. I gotta show you this. Give me 1 second.
Yes, ma'am. And take your time, Sister Teresa. I'll be doing my 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. Yes, ma'am. While we wait on Sister Teresa to come back and give us this amazing information that she learned from working on the farm and coming back from the farm to help make our communities stop being food deserts. If you would like to be a sponsor or donor to the People's Podcast, thank you very much. Please Cash App $, the People's Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Thank you very much. Please reach out to him if you need any assistance. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. Please get those. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. We love our tiny dancers. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country and right here in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Sister Rashida Rafat doing a 5-year anniversary special promo for if you're working on a book, Raw Communications. If you're working on a book, she does copy editing, content development, media relations. She does a phenomenal job. Thank you very much, Sister Rashida Rafat and Raw Communications. Please reach out to her. Our brother, Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad out of Austin, Texas, conflict mediation, working in the community to squash the beef. He is doing an amazing job traveling as well as being right there in Austin, Texas. Thank you very much. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad, her book, Children of the Most High, Giving Birth to a God, The Science of Child Rearing. Please make sure you order that. And that's Sister Fudia Muhammad. We need that book now. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. We're coming right back to you, Sister Teresa. Our sister Sherry Muhammad out of Asiatic Minds Online, a virtual school that is teaching young kings, queens, how to be gods, different languages virtually. So if you have a child and you want to send them to school virtually where they can talk the knowledge of themselves as well as the knowledge of this world, please make sure that you reach out to Sister Sherry. Dr. Henry M. Carter right here, King Henry's Turkey Legs right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services out of Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, as well as his new book, Down Is Not Out, both of which are available on AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my 2 books, Cleopatra and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Thank you all very much. Right back to Sister Teresa. Okay, boom. Yes, ma'am, we're right with you, Sister Teresa.
Allahu Akbar, that's beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. His name was Nuri Rashid. And him and Dr. Ridgely in the first was helping the messenger with the phones. So he's here in our area, and he has a program called Truly Living Well. It's called the Center for Natural Urban Agriculture, Growing Families Urban Grower Program, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was in October of 2017 that I went here. And I graduated from there with them, all right? So now I'm more confident.
Yes, ma'am.
And so Minister Stanley shocked me and came to my graduation. And so he said, okay, you can have the back of the mosque and start with believers or the people in the community. So that's what I did. I started with people in the community in the back of the mosque, and we grew food. And we grew on cement, Brother Joshua. We made raised beds on cement, okay? And we grew on that. This is our agriculture book that when you graduate, you get this. It's about this thick, okay?
Yes,
so we have different classes now. So since then, we've had quite a few classes. And that's what I had pictures of, because a picture's worth like 1,000 words. So I said, well, maybe I'll just show a few pictures of things that had happened. But what I wanted to do before that was I was helping your father in the bluff. And I'm an artist by the trade, by the will of Allah. Thank you, Allah. I raised my children doing art and giant murals. So I came and your father said, well, I knew him from Washington, D.C. And your father know how to work a person real good. Real fast.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Like, you don't come around him or near him and you ain't working.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You got to do something. So what I did was I painted outside the building. But he had the restaurant, the grocery store. This was the grocery store. And it was coming soon. And then he had me inside the building painting with our fruits and our vegetables and things like that. And we painted inside of there. So this is all down in the bluff now because he's down in the bluff cleaning it up for our people. This is one of the worst areas of Atlanta, Georgia. This is what this house looked like, the top picture. when we first, look at the top. You see the top picture?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what this house looked like when we first, when your father, it was about 3 or 4 doors down from the center that we have there now.
Yes,
in the block where the classes and everything held and where y'all give the food away at, right?
Yes,
your father said, Sister Teresa, you think if I close this building up like he did here, he said you could paint something on it, right? So now this building was open, Joshua, all this time. People, drug addicts, going in it, using it, doing whatever they do, leaving the nasty packages and whatnot around, and smoking and, you know, just really, really cutting up in there. So the neighbors on each side, because if you can look real close, there's neighbors on each side.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So they're scared because, you know, people's always in this place cutting up. So your father come in the neighborhood, he came in, he closed it up. She had closed it up. Yes, now, I'm in it, I'm drawing on it. But he sent some brothers down there. Excuse me for laughing. Sent some brothers down there to watch me and to help me and to keep me company. Or either one of them, I know one of them was, and the other 2 was keeping him company. And so I asked, I said, do y'all like to paint? And they said, yes. So what happens is this. I said, I got security painting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What we did was we painted all this positive stuff. You see the drawings? The drawings are of FLI, MGT, scientists, doctor, lawyer, architects, everything that's positive and wonderful, right? Yes, all right. This is what it was looking like. Now, Joshua, the next day, they tore the building down. The next day, it was too positive. It was too positive. So what I said to your father, he said, "You're not upset, Sister Teresa?" I said, "No, I'm not upset." I said, "I tell you what, anything you want torn down, call me and we'll paint it." That's to get some results. We'll get some results like that, right? So that is one of the major things that I remember doing in the Bluff that I love, because this was so positive for our people, for our children. That would have been so nice because it was giant size, you know, and the children could relate to see themselves, you know, but they didn't want us to see ourselves. So I said, ain't no mystery, God. This is real. We dealing with real times.
Beautiful. I never knew this story. Thank you, sir. I never knew.
I know. It's a few things that people didn't know. That's why, you know, that's why I said this is history. And I said, I'm carrying history so much on me. I said, I want to drop it. And if I put it here, like I look at your shows, I constantly look at your shows and I look at the different ones, and I haven't been able to see them all yet. So whenever I get a minute, that's like relaxing, it's comfortable. And I know it's from us and our people doing positive works by God's blessings, you know. So it's like history, and I would like to be in a part of history.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And you are part of history for sure. Okay, so Teresa, Sister Andrea 2X MGT says Assalamu alaikum. And our brother Chef Brandon earlier said, can't nobody cook like the mighty MGT and GCC. He's ready to order his book whenever you're ready. Now, Sister Teresa, where can people find you on social media in order to get the book once you release it? Where do they type in?
Okay, I'm at Teresa F. Muhammad is my Facebook page, but yes, I'll be making a page to accommodate that, along with a website. We're working on a website now, so I'll be doing that. Be the will of Allah to get that done. I don't want to put it out there until it's complete. The book is ready, just about. It just needs a teeny bit more critiquing and making sure the spelling is right and whatnot. But the cover was just made by my granddaughter and my grandchildren, and that's such a blessing, you know. And I give thanks. So it's good. I'm gonna be blasting, and I'll let you know. You help me and tell me where I need to put it in different places. You know, yeah, I'm gonna get it out there because I definitely need it. Now, Allah has been merciful to me because actually that's not the only book I have. I have like 14 books. And I've been doing them over the years, inshallah. And the reason I've been doing them, but I've been putting them to the side, putting them to the side. I never got the ISBN numbers for them. I never got them published or anything like that. But I want to do that now because I said I was saving it for my retirement. Well, it's retirement time. So it's a cookbook. It's a agricultural book, like the size of this agriculture book here. look at the size of this thing. I could make 2 books out of that. You know what I'm saying? That was our agriculture book. So anything that I missed teaching the class, they got it in this book. You know what I'm saying? Then besides the agriculture book, it was the disaster preparedness book, and then it was the children books. I wanted our children to see themselves. I want them to know all the greats. So I know I can't do that alone. I know other people probably going to jump on the bandwagon and do that also. I don't mind. The idea is that when you go to the classroom now, that you could pick up a book about you. Everything we pick up a book about is about somebody else. So I want them to pick up the book. We invented the elevator. We invented so many different things that we don't even know that we did, you know? But I want them to know what so-and-so did such and such a thing and put it in a way that our children can understand it and grasp it.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And we absolutely will promote that and help you in any way we can, Sis Teresa. My next question for you is, being a grandmother, how has that impacted you?
I like being granny.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I don't like the fact that I'm so old that I'm a widow now, and I've been a widow for like maybe 6 years, and I'm alone. I don't like that part because I'm a granny now that can't find grandpa. But I like the fact that I got grandchildren that's older, and they're so beautiful, and they're all so talented. And it's like I learned so much from them. They don't realize it, but just to study them and watch them, I learned a lot from them. And they're like of a new era, and they do things a little bit different, but they're very positive with it. Only thing I'm praying and I keep asking God for is to keep them wholesome and pure, and keep them putting you first, put God first. Like some of them say, well, we Christian, is that going to matter? No, it doesn't matter. What it is, are you sincere about being a Christian? Because God is not going to judge you, whether you're Christian, Jew, Hebrew, Israelite, whatever you are. He's going to judge you according to your heart and according to the belief that you say you believe in. Now, are you practicing what you say you believe? So if my grandchildren do that, that's all that matters to me. But I love them. They're beautiful. I got 15 of them, Judge.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, Sister Teresa, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Future mothers, I would say in this day, to be honest with you, teach your children. I wouldn't have my children in these schools. Be honest with you. Unless you could get them in the private schools where other teachers with like-minded people, I would say teach your children, because if you don't, you're going to lose them, because someone else is teaching them all day long. You're so busy chasing a dollar, somebody else is teaching your child. You don't know, you turn around and have a monster. And then you wonder why. Because they're learning it, they're being rejected from it. You know what I'm saying? So many of our children, they go to school, they're rejected. All they see is somebody else. And then, you know what I'm saying? We wonder why they go astray or what's wrong with them. Then you got people who actually get on their case. You don't know what these people are doing to them in these classrooms nowadays. And then they don't care who the teachers are no more. So it's frightening to me. That's what I say. Mm-hmm.
Great. And what advice would you give to future wives?
Future wives, to be the best wife you could be, and give thanks, and don't take advantage of that. Don't take that lightly, because you can look up one day and they be gone. You know, so it's not something you take lightly. I think unity and sharing and blessings and praying together and staying together. I would keep prayer at the head of the house. I would put Allah first in everything we do. You know, and if you do that, then, well, women always try to equal herself up to the man, you know? So you would want to pray that you, first of all, have a good husband, or a good man, a God-fearing man. If he's not a God-fearing man, I think you need to keep stepping. You know? You need a God-fearing man, one who will put God first in everything that he does and not be ashamed to do it. But to know that he's not the creator, but in the creator is his blessings. In the creator lies his livelihood in his life. You know?
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Sister Science says, amen, sis. Wisdom, we must teach our own children. Praise be to Allah. Okay, my next question is, what type of music do you like to listen to, Sister Teresa?
I like all music, to be honest with you, as long as it's clean, as long as it's good music. I like jazz. I love jazz. Smooth jazz is outstanding. I like hip hop. I loved Michael Jackson when he was here, and I love him still. And Smokey Robinson in the Miracles. I love the Whispers.
Okay.
And I just seen your brother on YouTube. Not your brother. It's not your brother. He's he's Janice's brother. What's their last names?
Oh, Zach.
Zach. I just seen Zach on YouTube talking some stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Good.
Yeah.
Zach's video.
But and the stylistics. Oh, I love the stylistics.
Yes, ma'am. I like them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so, great. Okay, so what do you do for fun?
Actually, lately I haven't been having too much fun because I don't skate anymore, but I used to skate. Okay. I love to skate. And everybody's like, don't you be skating now, because if you break something now, it ain't fixing. But I love the skate. Well, actually, I'll be 71 my next birthday. And that's October. That's next month. Be the will of God. And I thank God for these years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm very, very appreciative of him, because you take some, got to have a little sense to get this old,
Yes, ma'am.
Get this old in the old kind of way now.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Now, Sis Theresa, I have another question for you. Did you ever get to see the Most Hon Elijah Muhammad in person?
Yes, I did. Every Savior's Day up until the Savior's Day he left. From 71, in 72, in 73. Well, no, it wasn't 71. I seen him in 72, 73, and 74, because it was only 3 years straight. I seen him. But I never got close enough to him to touch him or to anything like that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? But I seen him and I heard him, and he spoke. He did the Savior's Day address. Right. And then in 75 or 74, 75, when we were expecting him to come out and he didn't come out, then that was something totally different. But yes, I was blessed. That was an honor to see them.
And so, Teresa, what did you all wear? Did you wear the headpiece, or did you wear like the fez?
I had the fez. I wore that tall white fez.
Okay.
And it had a plastic crown inside of it. And wore that for years, for a few years anyway. All right. We had the fez, and then we went over to the headpiece. We had both, but I loved them both.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Okay, just have 3 more questions for you, Sister Teresa, and thank you again for your time. If you could meet God face to face and ask him one question, what would you ask him?
Bless me that I be amongst your good and faithful servants. Bless me that I be worthy of coming wherever you are. Bless me that I be worthy of making it into the hereafter.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and if you could ask, if God could ask you one question, what do you think that he would ask you?
Put some of this stuff together and stop procrastinating.
Yes, ma'am.
You ain't moving fast enough.
Praise be to Allah. One last question for you, Sister Teresa. What would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
Oh my God. She was a good woman, a woman who cared, who left an example, who left a legacy of books and programs to look into and to develop your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. One that taught us how to grow food.
Praise be to Allah. And Brother Chef Brandon says he loves your spirit. And my sister Naima says, Assalamu alaikum. Beautiful. Okay, now, so Teresa, I just want one last thing I wanted to tell everybody. I had the honor of working in the bookstore with you when we first came to Atlanta, the bookstore that was in the mosque. And I thought it was just when you would be there all the time, when you were, I guess you were painting the Minister Rahman Fellowship Hall. Like when we first came down here, you were always at the mosque painting, you always had a beautiful spirit, always have had a beautiful, beautiful spirit. So I want to thank you for that. Thank your family, Sister Teresa. May Allah continue to bless you all. And it just means a lot that you came on People's Podcast.
Oh, so much. And you know what? You just ring all kind of bells because the minister Farrakhan came through when your dad came here. I remember he was asking us first how we thought this place was. And I said, oh, this is a bad church down here. Please send us some help. So he sent your dad. And when your dad came down here to help us, he started making the mosque a mini Mosque Mario. And the minister came through one night and he came through the brother's side. You know, we got double sides. He came through the brother's side and he went around through the mosque. And I was so excited because I was in the tapes connection, cleaning it and fixing it and working. We was trying to make it beautiful and getting ready to open up. And when he came through, I just went and peeped the other side. I said, oh God, he's gonna come this way. He's gonna come this way. I'm all excited. And I'm all excited. I got in the middle of the floor. I'm just all excited. I'm going through changes. And what happened was the brothers came out and they flanked the door. They said, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, they do, right? On both sides, they flanked this side straight out to the door. So in other words, he wouldn't have never seen me. But this is how I know this man is God, God's man. He came out and he was walking past, like say, this is the mirror, right? The window right here. And he was walking past this mirror and he stopped right here. I'm crying now by this time, but not loud. I'm whimpering. Oh, I'm not going to see him. Look what they did. I'm talking to Allah, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They're not going to let me see. So he stopped right in front of the door. He turned to the left and he looked. He parted the sea of brothers and he beckoned me with his hand like this. I got the pictures of that someplace right here. And when he beckoned me, I came off stupid crying. And when I got to him, I said, oh my God. I said, may I kiss your shoulders for all the weight of our nation that you're bearing. And he grabbed me and hugged me. And brother, what's his name? What's the brother to take all the pictures? Because he's talking stuff. He said, oh, you was just crying, huh? Oh, Adiman, brother Adiman. He said, yeah, here it is. Here the picture. My niece, my granddaughter was taking pictures, but she didn't take the hug. But that's me looking all stupid coming to him.
Yes, ma'am.
You can see the smile, the smirk on his face. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
he literally smiled and hugged me. And the hug is on my Facebook. You know that's all over there, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I give thanks to Allah for that. That was a highlight of my life.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Well, I want to thank you again. Thank everyone who's watching. My sister Naima said all praise to Allah. Beautiful. May Allah continue to bless you, Sis Theresa. And we look forward to getting you a cookbook because I'm out here cooking. I want to learn how to, do some cooking myself in a pot. I don't know. The kitchen is not really my zone. I shout out to my sisters for stepping up with that. But I want to learn how to cook.
That's all right. If you got a book when you go in there, you be all right.
All right, now. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Sis Theresa. Thank you all for watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, man.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you so much, Joshua.
Thank you.
It was an honor.
The honor
Greetings
is
to
mine,
your
man.
family, beloved.
Same to yours. Assalamu alaikum.